So it's decided to talk about the economics of Bitcoin. So in the last video, we were talking about money, the history of money, and then what makes money to be acceptable and the rest of them. So if we want to talk about the economics of Bitcoin, we want to talk about the qualities of money. One of the first qualities of money is money has to be durable. I talked about that last time. It has to be divisible. It has to have units. And then it has to be something that is easily transportable. It's something that is almost impossible to counterfeit. It has to be something, a unit of value. It has to be a unit of value of account, sorry. And then a store of value. And it has to be a medium of exchange. So, if you bring all these qualities from durable, easy to transport, impossible to counterfeit, a unit of accounts, and then a store of value, and then the last one, which is the medium of exchange, you will discover that Bitcoin fulfills all these criteria necessary for something to be called money. But there are the pros and then there are the cons to it. Now, there's the issue of the critical mass. So, what is a critical mass all about? So, critical mass has to do with the point where the benefits is the point critical mass is the point where the benefits to a new user exceed the cost of adopting the technology. We'll be talking about all those stuff. Now let's talk about the pros and the cons of Bitcoin, because when you see Bitcoin, a lot of people say, "Oh, no. Yeah, they always like saying a lot of good things about Bitcoin, but everything that has a good stuff also have a bad stuff." The first thing about the Bitcoin stuff is, from the medium of exchange part of it, the first part of it is, it is not at the risk of security breach. Yeah. It is not at the risk of security breach. The number two is, it is protected from chargeback frauds. So what is chargeback fraud? Basically, okay, someone buys something from a store, maybe online, and then he demands for a return because of any reason. Maybe no more interested, or he has seen something better, or whatever the persons have a reason back. So it's protected from chargeback fraud. Then another another advantage of Bitcoin as a medium of exchange is Bitcoin's transactions are almost instantaneous, though they will be, we'll be talking about that, but let's take it that Bitcoin transactions are almost instantaneous. And then there is nothing like base fees and the rest of them to process transaction and the other one. Then you can also use it as a transfer of any digital asset. So Bitcoin and Bitcoin technology, there's what called Bitcoin, and then there's what called Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin, you can take it as a protocol, and then you have the Bitcoin that is spelled in small b, like this, or you can call it B2C. You can take that one as the money or currency. So, what are the cons of Bitcoin as a medium of exchange? The merit of the system is, first, the transaction cost will only keep increasing even as the price of Bitcoin is increasing. So it sets there's something like if you are making a transaction that you have to have, maybe you have charged maybe 1% or whatsoever. No, they peg it that any transaction you're making, oh, you're transferring $1 million worth of Bitcoin, $1 billion, or even $15 worth of Bitcoin, you are you must pay 0.01 BTC. And it's not really efficient. So it cannot be used for microtransactions like buying coffee, buying some, eating at the restaurant. Microtransactions, you cannot really use it because you would be at loss. And then Bitcoin transactions are slow. So what basically happens is these transactions are very slow. The more people come into the network becomes clogged, as in the network becomes congested. It's like your highway. The highway may have maybe very, very big. The government tries to expand it. Most times tells the people, okay, quit your house. We are going to construct road along this path because there is economic boom in our country and the thing is just expanding and expanding. So we want the roads to be bigger and bigger so that traffic will not be very congested. But even as the economy start booming, there is people transiting from one country into this country, or from the rural part into the this part of the country because there is economic opportunities. Everything is booming, and the rest of them, you will still see that the cities, the roads become congested. So also with Bitcoin, the more people become aware of it, the more people are using it, the more people are buying it, the more it becomes congested. And then another problem is because the code is designed in a way that no single person can actually make any change. Okay, this thing is becoming slow. What is it they reach? We're talking about sustainability. We are seeing the future. Okay, if this thing is to become something that will be used on a daily basis, and you're saying, okay, of which that was the original intention, why not we change certain thing? Why don't we change the block size? We'll talk about that later. Why don't we change the certain part of the code to make transaction very fast, to make the cost of transaction lower and the rest of them? Make this stuff energy efficient. Oh, okay. How do we do that? We'll be looking at that. But we're talking about mining and consensus. How do we reach an agreement in the system? So people will say no. So we have slow transactions. Now another issue is again is the government. As a medium of research, the government cases like it happens in Russia, in Venezuela, in I think there are many countries, but some countries are really so of it. It says no, we want to issue our own cryptocurrency. And this is the cryptocurrency that every person in this country will use. So that's another problem. Again, the Bitcoin prefers. And then the other thing I want to talk about is the issue of the store of value. So if you look at Bitcoin, if you look at the volatility of Bitcoin, it's something that is very, very volatile, and you want to look at it. Oh, this thing is very volatile. Is it something that can be a store value like gold? Gold is not something that fluctuates every time, but you can take gold as store value. But Bitcoin is very, very volatile. You can just shift from a certain amount and it just fall down. Boom. And then another problem again with Bitcoin being a store of value, particularly about the economic side of it, is the hoarding problem. So you see people, it's like you have in a country where people are actually buying a certain commodity and you're not willing to sell it. Why? Because you're saying this thing, I know it has a lot of value in the future, so I'm not going to sell it now. I'm going to keep, the more I work, the more money I make, I'll keep hoarding, I'll keep buying, and I will not be selling and the rest of them. So people buy this stuff and they keep it, and they keep it, and they keep it. And this stuff is not supposed to be kept. So everybody keep hoarding it. So you will not look at the two sides of it. Hoarding it has a very good use. The value could go up. Maybe someday, maybe it could go up more than you expected, or maybe more than how much you brought it. It could be very, very profitable to you. At the same time, if a large majority hoard this stuff, then it has no value. Yeah? Because it has no value, because there's nobody, it has no use. And it is use that gives something value. It is utility that gives something value. So you might be asking, okay, what gives something value? There are many things that give something value, like of which we'll be talking about in the last one. We'll talk about the units of account. We'll talk about scarcity and the rest of them. So as a store of value, people who had this stuff. And then another thing again with the Bitcoin is its open source nature can actually make it easy for someone to just make certain changes to the code and create their own cryptocurrency, and it can actually affect Bitcoin as a store of value, in the sense that, you now start having Bitcoin days, or more cryptocurrency, because the code is open source. So open source has to do with something that anybody can see, anybody can have access to the code, can make changes to the code, you can have your own licenses and the rest of them. That is one of the things about open source. So when you have an open source, and it becomes very easy to replicate, so you now have many substitutes, and you discover that what gives something value is when, first, the thing is scarce, second, there is utility for the stuff, there is demand, and then it has little to no competitions. So if you have a lot of competitors everywhere, it's not going to be very, very good. And then another thing again, of which I've explained, is it's volatile. That is one of the disadvantages as a store of value. So let's talk about the positive side of it that makes Bitcoin a store of value. And the first positive side of it that makes Bitcoin a store of value, it's almost practically impossible to avoid, it's possible for your BTC to be confiscated or to have like disproportionate taxations on your BTC. Why? Because these stuffs, when the account, wherever account you do, it's stored in the system. We'll be talking about what are cryptocurrencies and the technology beginning. We'll be seeing that stuff. Then another stuff again that makes BTC as a store of value, as an advantage of store of value, is that, unlike gold and other stuffs, it has no storage cost, in the sense that you don't need like security or maybe chemicals or whatever to prevent it from decaying and the rest of them. So it's almost the cost of storage is almost zero. It's zero. Basically, if you have your wallet, you can store. Another thing again is it is cryptographically secure. So I told you cryptocurrency is something that is built on math and cryptography. So it's cryptographically secure. In the subsequent video, we'll be talking about cryptography. And then something that is scarce. And then there's automatic record keeping. And then the last one is it is deflationary. So when they create a cryptocurrencies, they say, okay, this is the amount of cryptocurrencies we're going to have. 21 million, it is 21 million. So guys, I'll see you in the next video.